hello everyone, my name is SiC, welcome back to Humankind. This is episode 4, and before we continue on, I would like to remind you that I now have a Ko-fi page where if you want to, you can support the channel directly by giving a one-time or a monthly donation, which would be greatly appreciated. Now then, let's move on. We have a paper mill being built in Unuk, and we are building the pottery workshop over in Nurem because whenever influence is extremely important to do all the things we really want to be doing. Meanwhile, we might also want to build a new city because we can, in fact, build a new city. We can also build a harbor, and that will be decent. Especially because we are starving over here. That's mainly because we have too much population in here. We don't really have a particularly wonderful spot to build a city. We have 8 industry over here, 11 over here, which is decent. We could expand from here a little bit more quickly. Unfortunately, we cannot connect these territories up. But this territory here is still unclaimed, and we might be able to send a unit there. To claim it, basically. We could also just build a harbor right there, and I think I'm going to do that because the +9 food is nice. We have a ton of influence, and the food bonus is nice. And then from here on, we could
vessels of the Empire. Time to stock up on champagne bottles.
We could build this out into an outpost, or, and I noticed something else, when we look at the treaty screen, we need 100 patronage points, basically, to move on to the next state or step, and this would allow us to make a client state or to assimilate them. We are 2 turns away from that, and I have no idea how much influence that would actually cost, and I think that is, for this playthrough, a little bit more interesting. So let's actually go ahead and end the turn here. We are getting close to a war victory because they keep losing battles and we keep winning them, which is perfect. And basically because they started the war and we are so close, they're just running out of options, really, which is really nice. Now, we have stable stability, but not really high stability. We could do something about that. We could also, in fact, start working on some of these other internal upgrades, the infrastructures. Plus 18 food is a lot. I don't care too much about money right now. Maybe you should be working on food so that in 3 turns we get another population. And then that population is going to go into industry because we definitely need some more industry as well. Everything is really slow to build, which is not great. We could try building a maker's quarter for a +9 in 4 turns. Alternatively, we could do 5 turns for +9 industry and it doesn't cost us stability. So actually, let us go ahead and make a lumber yard here.
Another empire has opened an embassy, a powerful symbol of diplomacy and a hotbed of rumor, gossip, and intelligence.
I warn you.
I'm curious. They have not built their own embassy, so our agreements are unavailable. So it's definitely not them. But now we should have enough patronage here to, make them a client state or assimilate them. So we could turn these guys into a new city that belongs to us, or we could turn them into a client state. And client states are of course new, so that is definitely the way to go. And now I'm very happy that I saved up my influence because this costs a whopping 598. But at the same time it gives us plus 50 international sway on major empire, plus 1 influence of your ideological position on their doctrine axis per turn. So basically over time they will become more like us. Plus 71 influence, plus 26 money, plus 71 science, like the list goes on. This seems quite powerful. They will never enter a state of decline while they are my client state as well. So they will basically stay around. Let's go ahead and do that.
First client state treaty. Full access to an independent people's best mercenaries. Just for you.
Oh, and we get access to an army. we get lead, so +4 stability per lead, as well as +1 science per researchers per lead as well. That is really cool. We also get silk, so we have the +4 stability for that, and +2 industry per silk on makers quarters. Oh, that is also really nice, because if we build up a lot of makers quarters, you know, that is going to turn into a pretty powerful building, or like industry district or whatever. Now it does seem that we do not actually have control over these guys, but we could get it. They are, however, a defending army. Interesting. All right. I don't know why. I do have the money, but I don't know where this says that they are a defending army. But I guess that's fine. Now let's see. We could reduce this to 4, or even put it at none. And basically, because we have so much already, this should not really change anything, I think. Until they meet someone else that is going to start vying for their help, I guess. Alright. So, well, at this point, oh, look at that. We get so much influence per turn right now. That is incredible. Let's end our turn right there. Standing army has been researched. So we get access to iron now, we get access to the city watch, as well as swordsmen, but of course we need iron, and we do have one in our territory, right about there. But we still need to build the mine. Now as for our next research, we should probably, let's have a look, mounted warfare. What is good for us here? Horsemen could be decent. But we need 2 horses, we don't have it, and we cannot get it in the near future. Hydrology, watermill is really good. Artificial reservoirs, like basically we can get food and industry on rivers, and we have a lot of rivers. We don't need extra city cap, though the research quarter could be nice. Even though we already invested a lot into research, or into science, I should say. Let us do hydrology first. I think that will be the way to go. Now as for our people here, let us take 1 person off of money and put them onto industry, and maybe 1... we make a lot of money. I would prefer the industry. Let's end the turn right there. We are losing a population. Maybe we can do a little bit less science here as well. Oh, money is also important because we can buy out these things. Like right about now, we could buy out the paper mill, and then we can build iron mines, for example. Alright, so do we want to attach that? No, we don't. But basically we could make a new city very, very soon. We have another iron mine over here, so we can get 2 iron even on the next turn, I suppose. Though this is actually attached to Unug, I guess. Yeah. Alright, so that's not really an option. Let's do philosophy next, which is now going to take 3 turns, because I took people away from science. That's okay for now. Meanwhile, Urum finished its lumberyard. Stability has been going down slowly over time, which is not great. What else could we do? Ooh, look at that. Like the watermill plus 18 industry, because we have so many river tiles under our control, is really, really nice. But I think at this point, probably better to do a public fountain for the stability bonus. So we'll go ahead with that, and let's have a look at the war score actually. They are becoming sullen. We cannot force them to surrender until they reach 0. We have a war score of 115, so we basically cannot get a lot here, I don't think. Ooh, we can upgrade our warriors into swordsmen. That is perfect. We'll go ahead and do that right away. And then actually let's go ahead and oh no, that's not great.
Look at what a competing empire has accomplished.
Okay, so they have horses and they have copper.
a cry of astonishment, and perhaps a pang of jealousy.
And they built a wonder, did they? We have something unique here. Huge trees. That's interesting. I don't see a wonder built. That is a bit weird. Oh, look at that. These guys are helping out in the war. They might just try to go after units they see. And these guys we could actually rent for 20 turns for 80 bucks. That's not expensive considering the money we're making per turn. But this war is about to be over. And we cannot get them to the front line in time. So I'm not going to go ahead and do that right now. Let's have a look. We can actually move down here. Let's move over onto the river. We'll keep the high ground. We'll just have a little bit of an overview. Alright, we might actually be able to take out that city. They don't seem to have anything there, which might be deceiving, of course, but... Alright, let's build another iron mine so that we have access to 2 iron. It also gives us science and industry, which of course is great.
Discussion are not the pastimes of the idle, but the actions of thinkers and movers who will touch every aspect of civilization.
Alright, philosophy has been researched. We get a scientist star as well for that, so that is really nice. We are in 4th place, however, though we're not really far behind. Oh, but the Pyramid of the Sun, look at that. How much effort, how much industry that takes. That is absolutely crazy. Alright, they have a religion that is slowly moving over. We might actually want to go ahead and do something about that. Alright, let's move over here. I want to see what else they have. They literally have nothing. Alright. We don't have to force a surrender quite yet. On the next turn, though, probably we will have to. Let's see, +2 industry, that's not great. Plus 18. That is definitely the way to go for 5 turns. That is really, really strong. Next up, we could do theater, +4 influence on the main plaza, that's nice. Library, +1 science per population is really, really good. And holy days, we don't really make full use of that. But let's actually go with rhetoric in this case. I think that's really decent. Also, if we could get access to copper over here, that would really boost the production in our cities as well. Right, an ongoing war can now be ended. The war against ruler Mugying, the Nazca, they became the Nazca, has now reached a point where surrender may be forced on them. Delaying a return to peace will cause increasingly severe war weariness stability penalties on my cities.
The impressive Maurians, science, faith, and culture. The only worrying thing about them are those elephants.
Maurians, we see another culture show up here. But we have 1 turn left to go for a fight. They have warriors and javelin throwers as well as 3 levies, which is okay-ish. I wonder where we would deploy. We would have the high ground for sure. We might be able to do something with that. There's no way to move around the city, though we could go in between here and then move around the back like that, but that seems risky. I don't like the fact that this river here is really limiting my options. We are evenly matched, and if we are smart about this, we might be able to eke out a win. Or we could wait for a battering ram to be built, but that will happen in 3 turns, which is not great. So it's basically their 6 units against my 4. I have pretty strong defensive units in that I have 2 Agaushes. We have additional combat strength. They have 23, but I don't know how much extra we're getting. We do have the swordsman, which is much better than on their warriors. Much stronger. And we have a strong Lian Nubing. Oh, I'm so tempted. Let's actually, let's go for it. Let's go for it. Alright, so this would be, we still have an option to retreat, by the way. But now, right now we can see our deployment zone. We could deploy here, here, and put our crossbowmen up on the high ground. Actually, let's go ahead and do that. That seems pretty good. We have our swordsmen over here. That's nice. Get these guys up on the high ground. These guys are going to go right there. And these guys are going to go right there. Now, if they want to attack us, they have to first of all leave their own defenses. And they have to move across the river. So, that is end the turn right there. And then... why can't we hit that? That is annoying. Alright, and we are going to go on the defensive. Let's see what they do. They can't attack that either. Oh, we could maybe move up here. And from here we should have full overview, right? So let's see what they're doing. These guys are moving up. They're definitely going to be throwing something. Oh, that is a dumb move. Alright, it's pretty decent. Pretty powerful, but it's definitely going to cost them. Let's fire into them from the back, then attack them with the swordsman. That nearly wipes them out. Now I'm super tempted to actually move the Agouche forward and finish them off. Which is not great, but... you know what? Let's go on the defensive here for a second. Oh, that is really good. They hold on really well. Let's see what these guys are doing. They're coming across the river to attack. These guys are pretty tanky, actually. And these guys, ooh, alright, that is interesting. They move through the walls and then up onto the high ground. That is not particularly great for us. However, at this point, I'm going to draw these guys back so they can actually get a better defense bonus. We can completely wipe these guys out with the other Agouche, which is great. These guys can wipe those out from the rear. And they're going to hold on. Look at that, that is great. That is a very favorable engagement. These guys are attacking us across the river, which is also really nice. Same with those guys, that might even wipe them out, I suppose. Because they were very low health. Not quite. That is the end of this round. Alright, so we'll have to keep the war going for one more turn. The benefit of this is that it's going to increase our war score, and because we have a good war score, we are able to get or we can demand more things from them. Alright, so we'll wipe out those guys. We'll wipe out those guys. These guys apparently cannot be wiped out. Wow, well, they are wiped out. Perfect.
Be careful.
Perfect. And we also get a militarist star for killing more units, which is absolutely great. These guys are going to heal up. We are holding San Lorenzo right now. And then we have a hero's homecoming. Our triumphant victory against the forces of ruler Mu Ging, the Nazca, is a cause for celebration. We have become a true power, with you hailed as one of the world's greatest leaders, and our stalwart soldiers have returned home to Unuk bearing the spoils of war. But how should we commemorate this glorious occasion? Should we thank those who led the battle? Should we praise the gods who blessed us with this victory? Or should we ensure that people understand that it is your incomparable decision-making and inspirational leadership that won the day? A proud leader, a humble leader, or a worshipful one? Which are you? Faith, so praise, doesn't help us since we really don't have a religion to speak of. Celebrating for the extra stability is okay. Plus 10 money on Unuk for 10 turns. That's decent. We're not really hurting in terms of stability on Unuk, so this doesn't really benefit us. But that, personify here, you know, that's a little bit better. Now we have cultural blessing. Do we want to do something like this? Well, actually let's have a look at the war.
The snake approaches.
And we will force a surrender. And now we have a war score of 151. So we can choose, we can make them give us San Lorenzo. That's interesting. And then we have 71 war support left. We could also force them to become vassals to us. I don't know if they have other territories, however. If they give us San Lorenzo, we might just completely wipe them out. That gives us another city, as well as access to copper and horses. Let's actually go for San Lorenzo. Let's see.
Thank you.
I offer an excellent proposition.
They want a treaty, a non-aggression pact. Sure.
How can I say no?
We get an expansionist star for that as well. So now we have San Lorenzo, which is great. I don't know where these guys went, actually. That is interesting. Well, they still have these guys. Maybe we could have done something to wipe them out. I don't know. But we met some new people as well. The Maurians, first of all, they came in from the right here. And we find a leverage here. That is interesting. So we have a crisis. They are trespassing. And we could renounce, and that gives us a leverage bonus against them, actually. What are they? They are open, eager to learn from others and embrace diversity. They are loyal. They are genius, plus 10 science and research quarter, that is really strong. And plus 10 influence on commons quarter is also really strong. And they are hipsters. Yeah, what's the way to go here? They're hesitant. They don't like that we follow different religions. Our ideological proximity is high. Our borders are close to them, and we are comparable in strength, and we refuse to trade with them. Well, they haven't asked for anything. Let's actually renounce, so that we have some leverage.
Tire of your antics.
That will be interesting. And in these guys, they are sullen. And this worked out in the best way, really.
Greetings.
All right, let's introduce
I'm
ourselves.
cold-blooded, short-tempered, passionate. All the highest compliments. As long as we are honest and fair, we can do mighty things.
It is my
Introduce
great
ourselves.
honor as the leader of a great
We have a
people
crisis.
to greet you in my name.
Similar
Cannot teach you.
thing.
Water under the bridge.
Let's get
You're
some
like a
leverage
building
so that we
trust,
can make
brother.
the best possible use out of the new system, really. All right, so these things are done. They are moving up to stability 88. They have very good food production right now, but we basically have 0 population, so that kind of makes sense, I suppose. What do we want to do here? Do we want to build palisades? I guess so. Make sure that what we got we can hold, you know. Sounds decent to me. Alright, meanwhile, we could probably buy out the watermill, yes indeed. Look at that skyrocket, that is perfect. What else? Plus 11 industry for the forge, because now we have access to 2 copper rather than 1, and it improves our maker's quarters in 3 turns. I will take
This
it.
arrangement would see both our empires prosper.
Alright, they want a non-aggression pact. I'm okay with that, since we are not in a super strong position. I don't really know what they have.
Here is a proposal to get
Same with the Axomites, I suppose. And now we're back in 2nd place, even. That is nice. Though the first place people are actually going to move on to the next era, I think. I think that's how we should interpret that. Meanwhile, myths and monsters. The Empire's reputation as an oasis of learning and knowledge grows. Together with the reigning peace, philosophers from faraway lands flock to your cities to exchange ideas. One has studied that great fiery visitor in the heavens that rises and sets without fail every day. They have proven the sun is an orb, a vast distance from our world, and not a celestial god. Should you open your people's eyes to these new vistas? Yes. Enlighten is the way to go, since that is the direction we've been pushing everything already. Next up, I see Imperial power here would give us access to commons quarters. These are extremely important to build bigger cities. So conquest first, and then Imperial power for sure. And we have a decent amount of money. Could we? Yeah, we can buy this out immediately. I'll take it. The more production that we can get, the better. +2, that's really not worth it. In terms of food, we're looking decent, but for 4 turns, artificial reservoirs is really nice. But it's probably better to build in Maker's Quarter. +2, however, is really poor. +11 over here. That's the way to go. I don't know why it recommended that one. Maybe because it had an influence bonus. And that would kind of make sense, I suppose. Alright, actually let's split off the Lian Nubing. Because I want to grab that leverage. That's out in the water. Alright, Asteroid Stars, getting close. That is really nice. Expansionist Stars, we need 1 more territory. Unfortunately for us, we don't really have a territory to grab. We could build another city. And I'm kind of tempted to turn this one into a city. Because we have decent production. We have some population here. And then we could train a unit really quick. And grab this territory, attach it for even more benefits. Let's go ahead and do that. It gets us the Expansionist Star. Puts us back at number 1. And let's see, what do we need to build a unit? The fastest would be an Aga Ush. Though at this point I would probably prefer Swordsman. So actually let's go ahead and grab that. We'll move on our troops, and then in Urim over here we are going to build... we need food. +10 from that, +4, +18, but it takes 6 turns. But I think that's the way to go here. Do we want to demilitarize an area? Probably yes. Let's go ahead and demilitarize this really quick before they decide to settle it. And leverage intel collected. We get 20 leverage against King Beowulf. That is really nice. Kanha Kisli is discovered. What is that? The Kana Kisli Forest. Ah, I see. It's just like a random... Yeah, okay. On the next turn we can buy out the warrior, and I think that is exactly what we're going to do. Speed this up a little bit. And I guess we'll grab the pottery workshop next. Because influence is extremely important. We already have that here. Pottery and animal barns. Sure. Alright. These guys are going to rejoin their army. And I think we're in a really good position here, actually. Alright, conquest has been researched. That means we're moving on towards imperial power. Ooh. We can grab some intel from them as well, from the Nazca. We'll move up into this territory. Will we accept this offer? Only trade luxuries with the Nazca. Yeah, sure.
How can I say no?
The war support is slowly
This
building.
makes me content.
But that's because we're below equilibrium. Same is happening for us. So that's fine, that's normal. We can join these guys up together. We'll station them in San Lorenzo. And on this next turn we will finish building a wall, which is really cool.
Devilishly clever, these Greeks. I would be more afraid of their wit and their words than of their troops.
Alright, I am getting kind of concerned that these guys can all cross the water, and I am not.
Enchanted.
It is my great honor as the leader of a great people. I hold no grudge.
Grab some leverage against everyone.
This arrangement.
Alright,
would
only
suit
trade
both
luxuries,
our empires.
sure.
How can I say no?
Sure. Oh, and that gives us access to ebony, I guess. Or we could get ebony, basically. We could trade for that. They have silk here as well. Yeah, you'll move up over here. Let's see, is there any place that is particularly strong that's recommended? Not really. I guess we are going to look for a decent food, or a, yeah, food and industry mix. 10 to 5 is not really great. 611, that's pretty decent. 311, 610. Also a defensible location, I kind of like that. It's really weird, however, that it wants us to go all the way across. I guess we have to wait for these guys to move and then we can make it in a much more straight line. Alright, these guys are going up in stability. That is good. We can build a public fountain. Do we want to do that? Do we want to do something else first? Plus 11 industry is decent. Plus 8. Let's go ahead with the forge, actually. Because we need to push our productivity with everything. Ooh, we get a steed star. That is really nice. And since we're at the top, and the other guys just moved on, because number 2 is just below us in terms of fame, and they have 1 era star. That means they just moved on to the next era, which is probably still classical, but I don't really know. We could build 3 more districts, and we will get another builder star. 1 more technology, in 2 turns we will get the scientist star. And if we can get another territory, or attach another territory, that actually allows us to get another expansionist star. So we would really be able to boost our fame in this era.
I have a proposal.
The Greeks. Nobody wants to be aggressive with me. These guys are introverted. Careful. Expansionist, protector, +4 combat strength in combat for units in or adjacent to the District 1 garrison. Interesting. And they are turtle. They create strong defenses on their borders. Alright, so I guess we don't really need to worry about them too much. Yeah, artificial reservoirs for sure, since we are running a little low on food. That's the way to go. And then for Chang'an over here, plus the industry, I'm thinking a maker's quarter with +3. That's not really great though. That's not really strong. +7. +7 over here. Anything else? That's not great. As for money, I rarely build these because I don't really think they're strong, generally speaking. The paper mill cannot be done on the mountain. Cannot be done as adjacent tiles are not valid. Interesting. So we can build it, but what does it need to be adjacent to? Must be placed next to a river. I see. I see. We don't have a river here. Well, I guess we can build one here, and then we can connect another one, and they will start to reinforce each other. Now, if we want to choose, yeah, ooh, some people already moved on, yeah. Well, I already saw that for one of them, but I wasn't sure. Yeah, we're not going to grab anything quite yet. Basically because we're so close that I don't really want to. Do we want to attach this territory? I guess we could. That's not a huge stability decrease, actually. Though we are going to lose a person very soon. Which is unfortunate, but what can you do? Man, these guys are really slowing me down. But it's the only way to go down. So we're going to have to go for it. And then in Urim over here, what is next? What do we want to do? We can grab this for +10, +18, but the water mill takes forever to build. We're okay on food for now. Let's actually build the forge. And we'll end the turn.
Your empire becomes one of the giants, astride the globe.
Scientist star.
And what will you do with this power?
Agreement action has made an agreement proposal.
I have many better things
Aha.
to do than listen to you.
There we go. So, we finally get to interact with the embassy. Monumental contractors. Signing empires are able to participate in each other's cultural wonders projects. Participating empires will choose between receiving money, influence, or leverage upon completion. I'll sign it.
This is good for
Yeah.
us. We
Yeah,
accept.
condescending.
This is cause for
Alright, interesting. Alright, we'll keep moving them on. Mounted warfare would be a decent next choice. But what does it lead to? Feudalism would be cool. War summons. But we cannot reach this yet, apparently. So we'll do mounted warfare because it's quick and it does provide us with better horsemen. Oh, ruler Mu Ging, the Nazca has fallen. A brilliant civilization fell into ashes. I guess they lost their very last unit, and that is why. Interesting. Right, then let's go ahead and grab this territory. Perfect, we are uniting this entire continent. Really, really cool. As for Unuk, the hidden lives of cacti. In the expanding city of Unuk, an unusual but pressing issue needs to be addressed. While preparing the land for the new districts, hundreds upon hundreds of cacti needed to be cut down. They now lie stubbornly and prickly, occupying a large expanse of land. The vegetation should be burned. But should it be set alight for fuel or spectacle? Oh, fuel. Overproductive. Plus 17 industry on Unuk, that is nice. Or spectacle, patriotic. No, fuel it is. Definitely. And I guess at this point, I think we should probably go ahead and build some stone rings here. We'll build them next to our embassy. We could build the Lighthouse of Alexandria for other people. That's interesting. Plus 6 over here. We'll go ahead and build that one. A Maker's Quarter, because they reinforce each other.
We feel this
Treaties,
proposal
trade everything.
benefits-
How
Sure,
can I say-
I'm okay with that. We'll go ahead and grab this discovery. And then the hidden lives of cacti too. Cacti were burned to great effect, but one unintended side effect was the powerful smell that swept across Unuk as the flames licked the sky. One worker, curious, harvested more of the cacti from the surrounding hills, then soaked them in water, hoping to create a new perfume. Sadly, no delightful fragrance was found, but after a few weeks steeping in the water, he realized he'd created a powerful beverage, one that led to spiritual revelations. Now he has brought the concoction to your court and asks how it should be used. Sanction it. All deserve the chance of communing with the spirits of their ancestors. We will get stability. We can prohibit it for another plus 17. But I guess these they kind of cancel each other out. So if we get this, then we will lose this. But at the same time, we will lose or move away from order. Current effects are plus 4. Influence on emblematic districts. We would go to plus 2 influence. We already make a lot of influence, and the stability would be nice, I suppose, as well as the overproductivity. We'll go ahead and prohibit it. And that should probably be the end of this video, because I've been playing for about 38 minutes right now. So this is where I thank you for watching. Please leave a like and a comment below if you enjoyed this content and wish to see more. And I will see you guys for whatever video I do next.